Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. He says he's going to speak on happiness. You know what the topic he has given me? Give the essence of Ashtavakra Gita. मेरे को सूली पे चढ़ा के come in now. But yes, that is happiness. But it is not a topic that can be given justice to in one class. I don't know how it will turn out. I know the whole gist of it, but let's see how it comes out. But first, do you all know the story of Ashtavakra? Just a synopsis of it. Ashtavakra was born to one. I am not good at names, so I don't know whom he was born to and who are the other rishis. But he was a young boy, and for some reason he was born as a Ashta means 8, Vakra means crooked. So he is crooked in 8 places. There's one more person who's crooked in 8 places. Guess? Those who know don't speak. Those who don't know guess. Huh?
Politicians?
Oh. It's Krishna. He never stands straight. If you see his body, 8 places. When we go and do prostrations in the temple, we also touch our body at 8 places: the forehead, the nose, the chin, the chest, the tummy, the knees, the toes, and like that 8 places are touched. And again Ashta. So this Ashta, you can also look at it as, the Shakti path, the 7 chakras, and go beyond that. You can look at it that way also, but we are not going to go into that. So this Ashtavakra, for whatever the reasons, when he was in the womb, and the teacher, some guru was chanting something or saying something, and from inside he said something to him, and he cursed him. You will be born crooked, because already you are correcting the grown-ups. So he was born that way. And this was happening in the city of Janakpuri, Mithila. Capital was Mithila. Janakpuri is the city, and the king's name is Janak, King Janak. The famous King Janak is the father of Sita ji. Mother Ram, Sita's father. So 14 generations of kings in that kingdom were called Janak. One of them had Sita. All of them were realized masters. So this Janak Maharaj's city, he was having he used to have debates. He wanted to know the truth. He used to invite, and he found one person who was the son of Varuna Devta. Varuna is the god of waters, and his son was one of the rishis or munis, and he came and defeated everyone, and he said that, And once he had established himself in the kingdom of Mithila as the chief priest or knowledgeable person to whom the king will take all the guidance from. And then it came to this point that he advertised far and wide that I am the chief Pandit in the in the court of Janak. If anyone wants to come and challenge, are welcome and defeat me. And if you are defeated, you have to commit suicide in the river that is flowing in the city. And if I get defeated, I will immerse myself in the river. And it's an ego thing. So many masters came, many pandits came. These are not rishis, these are not saints and sages, these are pandits. Who are pandits? Who know about everything but no experience of anything. Okay? For example, the priest knows all the 108 names or 1000 names of the Lord. Every day he does, but he has not seen God. Otherwise, you would be realized after taking so many names of the God, isn't it? So I'm not saying everyone is like that. Ramakrishna Paramahansa was different. So why he's doing it? He's doing it for survival. He's not doing for devotion. He's doing it for salary. That is the reason that this click doesn't come in him. Because if that survival mode was not there, then he would be free to surrender himself, knowing that whoever he is will take care. And in this manner, our various pandits came, and many of them lost their lives by immersing because he had the gift of the gab. I can't remember. We'll just call him Varuni.
Dandin.
Huh?
Dandin.
Dandin.
Dandin, yes.
Dandin. ये उसका कुछ और नाम था.
Dandin was been.
अच्छा. So anyway, and eventually one day the father of Ashtavakra, thinking that I will also get some, they were living hand to mouth, needed some money for subsistence. He also goes there, and he has taught his child everything while he was in the prenatal education. And he goes and he also gets defeated, and he also has to give up his life by immersing himself in the water. And the mother keeps it secret from her son once he is born that this was the fate of his father. And this boy, Ashtavakra, he goes and studies the scriptures under a teacher, and eventually one day he comes to know from his mother that it is this fellow in the court of Janak who is the cause of the death of his father. So in that heat, he's in his youth, hardly in his early 20s, full of energy, full of and he has, we don't know this, but when he goes there, then we will find out that he knows who he is, but till now there is no mention of that. And he says, I will go and challenge, because he is missing his father. Every child will miss his father. He says, this is not right. And he used to discuss, argue, debate with his friends, and he was the best among all of them in the ashram. And eventually he goes to the Janak Maharaj, and there, once having gone there, he challenges the king, tells the king that I have come to debate with whoever is that person, who is he? And the debate begins. And in that debate, cut the story short, the one who is established himself, he gets defeated. And in that defeat, with that defeat, he also has to immerse himself in the river. And he goes to immerse in the river, Ashtavakra, once just as he's about to immerse himself, he stops him from immersion. He says, "Go, I give you life. I don't want you are such a fantastic brain, you're such an intelligent fellow, but I don't want to commit the same sin that you have committed. Life is about forgiveness. Life is about sharing, and for whatever reasons you have taken the life of so many pandits. I don't want to be the same as you. You are free to go whatever, but in that guilt of having taken so many lives, when the ego is high, you don't worry what you have said, what you have done, but now suddenly the penny drops for this fellow, this pandit, and he remembers that, oh, this is my father's abode. The water is his father's abode. He prays to his father, and father brings out all the dead and delivers them back. And as a result, the name of Ashtavakra becomes spreads far and wide. And here, in the story, even though the student is Janak Maharaj, the King Janaka, the teacher is Ashtavakra, but as the dialogue begins between the king and the Ashtavakra, somewhere the king realizes himself in the journey. And this realization is that, see, if I tell you, are you just taste? Are you knowing that waking, dream and deep sleep come and go every day? Are you knowing this? Yes. So which means you are not the waker, you are not the dreamer, you are not the sleeper, you are the one in whose presence the waker and the waking world, dreamer and the dream world, sleep and the absence of both, it comes and goes. Understood? Yeah. Understood. And the moment you have understood, this is called liberation. This is called liberation. You have understood, but it has not, you have not come to abide in it. Because when you are nodding and you are saying yes, the one who is nodding is not the waker. The one who is nodding and saying yes is the witness. So just like you are a woman, there the mother is also there, the sister is also there, the wife is also there. You have to decide which one you focus on. Similarly, my question triggered and immediately you came to your essential nature. Very next moment you forgot it. And this is the way this King Janaka, even though he clicked, but he was using the I again and again and again. And here, this whole text of Ashtavakra Gita is about, you must have heard the steps, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, correct? This is the Vedanta Prakriya, the methodology: listen, reflect, and contemplate. And contemplation is always done initially through words, and eventually that those words dissolve and you abide in yourself as a result of that. So that is Nididhyasana. This entire text of Ashtavakra Gita is a text on Nididhyasanam. Entire text. There is no listening or there is no reflecting, because the teacher is speaking, the Guru Maharaj is speaking, Ashtavakra is speaking, and the Janak Maharaj, he's saying, yeah, I know that. Suddenly in between, he says, I know that. And what does he say? He says, Ashtavakra says, the knowledge that is given in this Ashtavakra Gita is that I am essentially of the nature of Atma and I am free. This is the basic knowledge, the essence of this Ashtavakra Gita, that you are Swatantra, you are independent, you are free. Who is that? The one who just few minutes ago said yes. The waker, dreamer and sleeper come and go, I know that. That fellow is ever free. He is never attached. He is never just like mother, daughter, sister are just superimpositions on the woman, similarly the waker, dreamer, sleeper are just superimpositions on the witnessing consciousness or the Atma that you are. So the conclusion here in the Ashtavakra Gita is that the Atma is independent, is my real nature, and I am ever free. Not, what does that mean? It means the world cannot affect me, the world cannot influence me, the world, I am not a slave of this world. Meaning, I am not attached to this world, because if I am free, then I am detached to everything. I am not hooked on to anything. You as a woman or a man, you are hooked on to your wife, so you behave as a husband. Wife is hooked on to the husband, behaves as a wife. Hooked on to the children, behaves as a mother. I just experienced in her house. Touch the feet of Swamiji. They have got no choice. Otherwise, hell will break loose if they go against. Who is saying that? Mother. Who are these fellows who are coming and touching my feet? Husband and two grown-up sons. Two grown-up sons. अभी छोड़ दो उनको. Watch the drama unfold. They will love you more the day you stop telling them what to do. Just an observation. If you take it positively, good. कैलाश के बाद सब छूटना चाहिए, पर ठीक है, अभी पुरानी आदत है. It's an old habit. It will die slowly. So the world cannot affect me, and this philosophy, this philosophical truth is the crux of the Ashtavakra Gita. That I am free, the world cannot influence me, affect me. Because I'm not attached to it, I'm not influenced by it, I don't react to it, but I live in it. How do I live in it? What I'm going to say is not given here. Like a lotus in the water. It is fed by the dirt of the murky waters. It survives in the waters. It nourishes itself from the murky waters, but the waters cannot touch the lotus, the leaf or the flower. It cannot touch it. So be like that. That is how a master lives in this world. Then, by doing this, what will be the psychological impact if I accept myself as free and I am the Atma and I am free and the world cannot affect me? What is the psychological effect of that?
No suffering.
Huh?
No suffering.
No suffering. Good. There will be no suffering. Fantastic.
Happy as well. You will be happy.
Happy for no reason. Happy for no reason. See? Happy for no reason. There will be no suffering because there is no attachment. Only attachment brings suffering. And where there is attachment, what happens next?
Expectation.
Expectation is afterwards. This is one desire. Whatever you are attached to, you start desiring. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate. Hoy.
They are desiring.
Oh, sorry.
Put your volume
Yeah,
off.
sorry.
Thank you, sir.
There are people in Melbourne listening to
No,
this.
this is from France.
France. Is it? Okay.
So, where there is suffering, there is loneliness, there is helplessness. Today only someone was telling me, and they said, Swamiji, I don't know what is happening. I got friends who are teenagers, I got friends who are in their 20s, I got friends who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s also. And every damn person is feeling, they say, I feel like I can talk to you. That person. I know what to talk? Download. And one person, the day before yesterday, she called from somewhere. And for 20 minutes that person was crying on the phone. This is at 5:30 in the morning. And just by chance, that person picked up the phone. Nobody will call just like that in the morning. So that person picked up the phone, and the person was sobbing profusely on the other side. And after 10-15 minutes of crying, and family okay, you are okay, children are okay, okay. At this time in the morning, I felt the only person I can talk to is you. That means husband is not good enough, mother is not good enough, father is not good enough. See? And what is this? When you are in short of people where you can, or I should say it in other words, if you don't have one place, whether God or Guru or scripture or of some sort, where you can empty yourself. How long can a human being handle? Guru can handle. But how long can? वो भी थोड़ी देर के बाद कहेगा बताता हूँ, सिर्फ डाउनलोड करती आके, सत्संग कोई नहीं अटेंड करेगी, सिर्फ डाउनलोड करती रहेगी. I'm saying that such people, they never come to any satsang, but they want to call at the drop of a problem and want to download their problems on the teacher, but never want to come and understand the nature of their mind by coming to the satsang.
That is the, then they'll get the solution.
फिर क्या करेंगे? And this inability, this insistence of staying away from satsang then leads to helplessness, loneliness, depression, etc., etc. Exactly. The answer is with you. You are the answer to yourself. See? So, why it is important for us, Ashtavakra is telling that I am of the nature of Atma and I am free and the world cannot affect me, because it will take me out of helplessness and suffering and loneliness. Being alone is fantastic. Lonely is where you accept, where you are seeking attention. Loneliness, poor me, मेरी कोई सुनता ही नहीं है, मैं बोलता रहता हूँ. I keep speaking and nobody listens. I think I should stop giving satsangs. Why? Nobody is changing. I am only changing. Hey, that is what is required. See? So get out of this helplessness, get out of this loneliness, get out of this depression. And that is only possible when I accept that I am essentially the infinite consciousness and I am free. And nothing in this creation can affect me, influence me. Or in other words, if I leave Ashtavakra Gita and go into some other... Oh, he's also got a beard now. Wow.
Competition.
Grown up.
Competition with you.
And we bought lot many years left, man, to get the white one. So if he move away from Ashtavakra Gita, another way to bring about the same psychological balance, if I may say, will be through being a devotee of the Lord, where you don't pray to the Lord externally, but you accept that you are the part and parcel of the divine. That divine alone is expressing in and through you. For this, a beautiful anecdote is there, and that is Ramchandra ji was sitting after his, when he came back after killing Ravana, he came back to his, he has become the king now, and he was sitting in his swing and rocking away, Hanumanji ever at his feet. And Ramchandra ji suddenly felt, you saw that movie, वो प्यार की झपकी, कौन था उसमें पता नहीं, मुन्ना भाई. So प्यार की झपकी means a loving hug. Sometimes you feel when you see a small baby, I saw her, I got out of the car as if we have not met for a long time. Just 20 days ago, we were together for 20 days. Kailash. And pyar ki jhapki. So like that. And अरे यार कहाँ चला गया क्या बोल रहा था मैं हाँ रामचंद्र जी looks at him and he has hugged him before when he met him first. Ramchandra is not one again and again hug, kiss, no physical expression. He says, Hanumanji, yes. He says, man, you tell me, what is your relationship to me? You are ever at my service. You have done such great deeds. You have found Sita. You helped me with the war, and everything auspicious started happening from that moment I have met you. Hanumanji, you know Hanumanji? The monkey god?
Yes.
So Hanumanji says, the moment Ramchandraji has asked a question, the devotee has to answer. So he says, very simply put, he says, when I think of myself as the body, I am your sevak, I am your servant. I only serve you when I think of myself as the body. Understand it in this context that when you think of your children, you are only a mother. You are not a woman, you are not a wife, you are not a sister, you are not a daughter. You are only a mother, because that quality will start expressing. The trigger is what you are thinking about. When you are at work, the boss is in front of you, you will be only an employee because you are thinking you are at work. And husband is here and child is here. When you are talking to husband, the wife is speaking. When you shift your attention, you are talking like, how much time does it take? No, I have to dissolve the wifehood and I have to invoke the motherhood. Is it? Instant. I have to dissolve the ego and I have to invoke the Atma. It's instantaneous because you are already that. So here, if you understood this example, what we just said, Hanumanji says, when my attention is on my body, I am here to serve you. When my attention is on the soul that I am, that I was born and I am living and I am here, I am a part of you. So part of you meaning you are the total and I am the speck of that total. As the body, I am a servant. When I consider myself as the soul, I am a part of you. When I consider of myself as the Atma, the self, there is no difference between you and me. If you can even put this into practice in your daily life, at any given moment you are someone or the other. See it in the right context, do what is required to be done, and be free. So here, helplessness, loneliness, depression, which are becoming a norm today, all that is because we have not recognized our essential nature. We are still thinking we are the body, that we were born, that we are going to die one day. I have to survive, and the whole world is out there to snatch everything that I have. My wife, my husband, my children. The government is there only to trouble me and give me fines. And taxes. No. You are free, man. And therefore, in order to not get into this helplessness and depression, one must continuously entertain positive thoughts. And what are the positive thoughts which come in the Ashtavakra Gita? They are that na ekoham, that means I am not alone. I am everything. Aloneness is good. I am not lonely, you should say. Then second is, Ashayaham means I am not helpless again and again. Our Gurudev used to say that whenever you go to sleep at night, you should every day empty your mind of everything in the day, sort out the day, and then go to sleep. And what is that? Introspect, detect, negate, assert, and go to sleep. So introspect your day. How do you introspect your day? Look at the day. Don't keep अभी क्या हुआ था, उसके पहले क्या खाया था. No, you just scan the day. Whatever at this stage in your life you're just starting today, suppose before going to sleep, some points will become more highlighted in your mind. Introspect, detect where you were less than what you want to be in life. What do you want to be? I am the Atma. What do you want to be? I am free. I am independent. What do you want to be? I am unaffected by anything in this world. If this is what, this goal must be clear, destination must be clear, then you can negotiate through the traffic if you when you are going in the car. See? If your destination is not clear, if the car turns this way, chalo udhar chalte hain. Car turns this way, let's go there. No, it is not like that. Your destination is clear. That's why you all reached. I don't know from how far you have come. But you came. And so much traffic, so many unruly drivers. But yet, you came here unscratched, undented. Can we negotiate through the traffic of life and come to recognize that we are independent, we are free, that we are unaffected by everything that is going on around? That does not mean that I don't practice how to negotiate. That ability to negotiate will come from within. It will not come from books. It will not come from outside. It will come from within. Ramchandra ji, in Ayodhya Kand, if we see, he got the Yoga Vashishta from the sage Vashishta because he was in depression. Ramchandra ji in depression, blasphemy. But Ramchandra ji took form as a human being. He chose not to remember his divinity. That is how incarnation is. You need a trigger to invoke the divinity in a person. Just like what we are doing right now. Just like what I did before. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. Do you know they came and went? Yeah, invoked. The virus, the divine virus has set in. Now you cannot forget it. It will spread itself. If not in this life, next life. But it will continue. This is how it happened to us. This is how it is happening to you. Maybe that virus is probably still spreading. That's why you find yourself in an environment like this right now. See? And just like if the fire is dying down, you need a hawa dena padta hai na, you have to blow it, give a bit more of air so that the fire flares up again. That is what satsang is. So in this way, I am not helpless. Then third, I am not weak. I have the ability to contemplate in the manner that is required in order to be free and complete. Free and complete. So when I was talking about this Ramchandra ji, that Ramchandra ji, he went around in the around the kingdom and he had satsang with all the Mahatmas and he came back depressed. So what is the conclusion for stupid people? Don't go to satsang. So Ramchandra ji came back. This you don't find in Valmiki and Tulsi Ramayana. This you find in Yoga Vashishta. So Ramchandra ji came back. 10 days he did not eat, he did not drink, he did not sleep, he did not take bath, he did not change clothes. And Father, mother, brothers, knock, 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 and nobody will open the door. Eventually, Vishwamitra came. Now, he has to come. Oh, so where is Ram? Immediately, sage Vashishta was sent. And he says, Ram, immediately the door, because Guru Maharaj has come. He looked at him. Sage Vashishta is a Trikal Gyani. So he knows all the three worlds. So he knows. So he says, go take shower first. Now eat. Because 10 days if you are not eaten, whatever question he asks and you answer, it will not register, because thoughts come because of food. If you don't eat food for 7 to 10 days, no thoughts. No, but Swamiji, I cannot stop eating. Okay, come to Kailash. Ask her what happened. You go to 21,000 feet, 56% oxygen in the air. Naturally, you are walking like a realized person. Because no thoughts in the mind. No oxygen. So, he made him eat food. Then he asked, okay, now rest for some time. Have a quick power nap. After he had a power nap, then he now ask me the question. Then the dialogue between Ramchandraji and Sage Vashishta, which is called as Yoga Vashishta. You must have, some of you have heard our Swamiji speak on it. So that took place, and at the end of it, Ramchandraji has no doubt as to what his nature is. And then, once you know that I am of the nature of Atma, that is not enough. That is not complete journey. Now you have to realize that this Atma is all pervasive. Everything in this world is nothing but this Atma. For that, Vishwamitra, Vishwa, world, Mitra, friend. The name of the sage itself is so significant. Vishwamitra comes and he takes Ram and Lakshman. And the moment he goes, he starts invoking the hidden powers, the potential in both of them. And under his guidance, under his tutelage, under holding his finger, he conquers the demons. He makes a rock back into a woman. He breaks the Shiva bow. And he marries another realized person called Sita. And he comes back and lives happily for 12 years. Then hell breaks loose. And he has to go to the forest. But when he goes to the forest, I'm deviating a bit from Ashtavakra, but the point is the same. Once he goes into the forest, majority of the first 12 years, 13 years, he is enjoying satsang here, satsang there, satsang everywhere. And satsang everywhere. And then in the last year, which was the 14th year, he enters into the Dandikaranya. It is a dense jungle. It begins after Nasik. It's on the plateau of India. And once he enters, now there is nobody to hold on to. There is no Guru, there is no Vishwamitra, there is no sage Vashishta, there are no saints and sages. But till he has come to that dense forest, he has been with he has been with Bhardwaj Muni, he has been with Valmiki Rishi and many other rishis answering their questions. Eventually, all they said, your purpose is not to do satsang. You have incarnated. Sages are telling, Ramchandraji doesn't know. You have incarnated to free this humanity of this demon called Ravana. You have to go, and that is your purpose. And once he goes in, till now, all the guidance was there. And once he gets into Aranyakand, he is independent. He has to fight his own battles. Now he can't fall back on his teacher, he can't fall back on his father, he can't fall back on his friends, he can't fall back on his army, he can't fall back on anyone. And therefore, once the Dandakaranya journey begins in Aranyakand, till now, Sita ji was in the front, Ramchandra ji was in the middle, and Lakshman was in the back. Now, the moment the negotiation through life begins independently, Ramchandra ji takes the charge. He comes to the front, Shakti is protected in the middle, and Jiva, the Lakshmana, is at the back. And the journey begins. And he conquers everything. And when you are committed to this being the Atma, he cried, no doubt, when Sita was taken away. Like in life, things will happen like that. Accidents will happen. Scratches and dents will come. A car can be written off too, but it has not been written off yet. It happened twice for Ramchandra ji and Lakshman ji, but nature came and helped and revived them again. You see? But he fought. And the right people, did he know where Sita was? No. Did he know who is going to come next and guide him where to go? No. Jatayu came, he helped him. Shabri came, said go to Rishyamukh Parvat. Hanumanji, everyone came by themselves. Hanumanji came, it was a great blessing. Then Sugriv came, then Nalanil came, then Jambavan came, and did he know that he is going to have such a huge army with which he is going to go and fight with Ravana, and he doesn't even know where Ravana is. He is groping in the dark, and all help the nature provides. Why? This is the point that I want to come to. Why the nature provides? Because Shakti and Atma, Purusha and Prakriti, they are coexisting. So when you are Ramchandraji, he is continuously he is not forgetting who he is. He is already expanded. He has understood this Atma is the Parabrahma Paramatma. The nature has to keep this equipment in the right place, at the right time, with the right opportunities or experiences in order to get done what is required to be done. Not I want to do. What is required to be done will be done. And he finds himself with the right people at the right time, with the right everything. And whoever is the challenge in between, like Bali for example, Kabandha Rishi for example, etc., etc., everyone is deleted. He invokes the energy. See? Same way here, I am not weak. I have what it takes in order to succeed, in order to recognize that I am independent, free, and unclutched from the world. I am not supportless as an individual, as a seeker. I am not supportless. The scriptures are there, the guru is there, the self is there. If I keep thinking of the self, all answers will come. I don't know, too many words. Many people say, too many words, too many words, too many. Chant Om. Om is the source of all the words. Chant Om. Answers will start coming from within. Intuitive ability will build up. And then, and thus, because he recognizes, just like a lion moves around in the jungle without any support, without any team behind, and wherever he goes, everyone, respects the lion is going. Ramchandraji was like a lion, such a saint. You take Raman Maharishi, or you take Neem Karoli Baba, or you take anyone, any Mahatma for that matter, or our Swamiji also. Unko to sheri looks like a lion. You can't tame. If you try to tame, you will get tamed. Or you will be eaten alive. Just like a lion is fearless wherever he goes. Similarly, such a person who is either he is recognized or is on the journey towards the self, he has got no doubt about it, he becomes fearless in this world because he has got no axe to grind with the world. There's nothing to resolve. There's nothing to be guilty about. There are no regrets. There are no desires and no expectations. And therefore he is a lion. In that sense, that he is independent. You'll never find a lion going around with a army behind him, like the dogs, like the jackals. Yeah. Because they're collective. There is security in the collective. For a lion, there is no security. He himself is self-sufficient. And in this way, such a person, because he is independent and free, therefore, he never complains in his life. Most of the day, what happens? Swamiji, I'm not getting married. Swamiji, my boyfriend left me. Swamiji, I'm not getting a job. Swamiji, please pray for me in Kailash. What is this? Thodi der ke liye to, for some time you have to say yes. But what is our purpose as a Swami? To invoke your potential. That you become a person who does not seek support from anyone. That is our purpose. See? And I'm not doing it for you. When I do satsang, or this satsang is taking place, thank you to you for this topic, that when I'm taking this, it's a reminder for me, for my mind. And mind is Shakti. The Ishvara, Maya, Jiva and mind. Atma and mind. So, who is Ishvara and Maya? Ishvara is he who knows he is the Supreme, he is Parabrahma Paramatma, he is the infinite reality, and therefore he is not affected by the Shakti. That is Maya Shakti. His potentiality. He is not affected by his potentiality. Therefore he is Ishwar. Who is an individual? Who is? No, look at yourself, then answer. Individual is he, Jiva is he who is a slave of his mind. So that Maya at the totality level is the mind at the individual level. And Jiva, this consciousness is called individual because it is a slave of the mind. It lives by the diktats of the mind, concepts of the intellect. Ishvara, he dictates, or he doesn't even dictate. He remains unaffected by the change that Maya is. So when this Jiva realizes that I am free, he's come to that point. Shakti is not able. The mind will continue. It will still have thoughts. It will still go through waking, dream, deep sleep. It will still have, if all the doubts have not been resolved, they will be still there. He will still feel the mind will still feel hungry. But the fellow who has clutched away into the neutral gear, he is unaffected by what is going on in the mind. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. No problem. It is not into survival. If I don't eat, how can I say it does? If I don't eat, it is okay. Then you have to be like Shirdi Sai Baba. If the dog eats, Shirdi Baba's tummy is full. You understand? So that is a different stage of functioning in this world. You cannot live as an individual. इसीलिए बोला जाता है ब्रह्मांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक राजाधिराज योगीराज परब्रह्म भगवान परमात्मा की जय. These are all the adjectives that are given to recognize the divinity that Sai Baba is. Same thing we use similar. Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahams, Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi. Why? Bhagwan means we have put him because we have seen, people have observed. He did not say, I am Bhagwan. He does not say, I am Ishvara. People have given him that position because they have observed, they have experienced. And this way, when you have come to that disposition, then you are not helpless, you are not weak, you do not complain, you do not seek attention, you don't live for survival, there is no depression. All that is left on the wayside. Why? You are that lion. You are that lion. You are that power to be reckoned with. You are that force to be reckoned with, Star Wars. You are that force. So don't take yourself so lightly that I'm only poor me. ऐसी है. My disease, my health, my children, my husband, nobody listens to me. What will happen? Why I was born? Swamiji, why was I born? Yesterday only one girl. Swamiji, I am in love with this person and he's not, I am calling him and he's not responding. I said, then what do I do? You call me, is it? You call me. I said, I'm too old for you. You were born too many years later, 30 years later, maybe more than 30 years. I said, what do I do? She says, why is he behaving like this? Why is he not responding? I said, world is like this. You can't put your eggs in every basket. You put all the eggs in your basket of Atma. Don't put it into someone else's pocket. If your happiness is going to depend because of my husband, my children, my parents, this world, my boss, my job, my health, my this, you are going the wrong way. It will lead you to depression one day. And it is this time. And one person, I came a few weeks ago, someone passed away. And that man is lost. 50 years of marriage, wife passed away. He took care of her cancer for 18 years and eventually she died. Now he doesn't know what to do. The elder son is with his wife and his children. He lives in Bockham Hills. Before also he hardly used to go. Now he is hardly going. The other son came from London because mom was not well. Now he is not able to process the death of his mother. So he is swimming 4 hours a day. The father is all alone at home, helpless. Doesn't know what to do. Never get into such a situation in your life. Prepare yourself from right now. About what? Not about some hobby, all that is okay. He enjoys painting, but now that painting is not helping him because it's a much deeper emotional attachment that he has to deal with. The only thing that can resolve this is if he was prepared, and that is the Lord, or that is self-reflection. Only that. So prepare yourself. You're all still young. See? That is the only antidote to helplessness. Otherwise, then alcohol, liquid spirituality will begin, drugs will begin, movies will begin, running away, 4 hours swimming will begin. Why can't handle our own mind? Understand this. The only one-stop solution for all problems. Except you are the infinite. And everything is your vibhuti. Meaning, everything is the vibhuti of the Lord and the Lord is functioning through you. But in Ashtavakra, there is no mention of the Lord. You are the source. You are the substratum. You are the foundation. And in this way, people tell us that, Swamiji, all this is good, but it is very difficult. It's very easy for you to say. It is very easy for the scriptures to say that Tattvamasi, you are that. It's very easy for the Upanishad to say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the infinite reality. But when I look around, it doesn't feel that way. The moment mummy screams, I forget I'm Atma. I have to, yes, mom. I forget. And for that, for this shift to come about, acceptance is, intellectual appreciation is one thing, but to abide, you need to now expose yourself to Vedanta. This is not going to be done through yoga, through pranayama, through japa. Nothing is going to happen. It can, if while doing that our attention is on the Atma. But if my doing yoga is only for the sake of being healthy bodily, or my japa is only to run away from the world and not realize the self, then it will not happen. See? So Vedanta, what does Vedanta do? It changes the language in which we communicate with ourselves. I cannot, it is difficult, I am poor me, my boss is like that, I am this, when I am hungry nobody brings me the food, I have to go and cook. Why they make the rules of the world like this? Why where there are so many rich people, why can't I become rich? Blame the whole damn world. But never take responsibility. Spirituality means you take full responsibility. And the only way you can take full responsibility is either accept yourself as the Atma, or you accept yourself as the part of the divine. As the Jiva, I am a part of you, O Lord Ram. Hanumanji said no. So when Ramchandraji is expressing through me, how can I go wrong? My attention is on Ram. So Vedanta helps us majority of the time, somewhere else also it came, we are majority of the time, 20 out of 24 hours, 23 hours, we are speaking to ourselves in the mind. What is the quality of communication that we have with ourselves? What is the quality of communication? Are we undermining our own abilities? Are we invoking, going into the past and kahan gaye wo din? Where have those days gone? It was so fun. We were so carefree. Why did we grow up? Depression. Majority of these teenagers, why they go into depression or drugs or drinks? Because, my God, I can see my parents struggle for bloody whole life. Now I am getting into that age. Now I have to work. I have to survive. Too much. Can't I be a child all my life? Like when we were in the ashram. Can't we be students at the feet of our teacher for the rest of our life? Swamiji, can we join the next course? 2 years of bliss. And it reached such a crescendo that you feel you can live every breath and every moment till the last breath like that at the feet of the teacher, listening to scriptures. This is what Uma does, this is what all the rishis do. Whenever they feel that, they go to Shivji. Please batao kuch. Vijnana Bhairav, here in Adbhut Ramayana or Ramayana also, Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, she says, man, I am such most beautiful woman in the universe. I am standing at your service and you are sitting with your eyes closed. She's not jealous. She says, what is it that you are contemplating on which is more interesting or which has grabbed your imagination than this beautiful form of mine? I am also interested in knowing that so that I can also contemplate on it. This is contemplation. And the story of Ramayana begins. See? So, we must change the self-dialogue, from negative, from detrimental, from undermining our abilities. If our dialogues to ourselves are putting water on a blazing fire, which is our energy, which is our Shakti, which is our enthusiasm, inspiration, change the language. Vedanta helps you change that language by again and again banging on you that you are the Atma, you are the consciousness. After some time you will say, man, okay, I accept, I accept. Stop banging, I accept. Even though superficially you accept, but you have accepted. Somewhere, sometime in this life or next moment, next day, we don't know when, suddenly it will sprout. And this is the process of changing your self-dialogue. That I was born, that I am going to die, I am a product of my parents, that this world was there before I was born, this world will continue to be after I die. This is wrong language. Vedanta helps you to change that you are the source. Out of you, the creation came. In you, the Atma, the creation is existing. In you, the Atma, the creation dissolves. And we help you to see that in your daily experience. The Vedanta helps you. Out of you, the waking experience comes. It is maintained. Into you, it dissolves. Then the dream experience sprouts. It is maintained. It again dissolves back into you. And how to think, how to come to recognize the true potential of yours. This is the language of Vedanta, and in that language you have to do nothing. You have to just listen. Shravanam. And it leads. You don't even have to reflect. Because reflection means what? Shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. Mananam means what? To reflect and resolve your doubts. But Vedanta is such a beautiful approach that all your possible doubts, which you don't even know exist in your mind, are already resolved if you keep listening to the satsang. And what happens then when the doubts are resolved? While listening, eyes open, ears open, senses open, mind open, and contemplation is going on. Can you by yourself for 1 hour sit with such intense contemplation by yourself? Like it is going on right now? Continuously I am bringing you back to being the divinity. As the Atma, as the Parabrahma, Paramatma, as the Lord, again and again, different examples I am bringing you back to yourself again and again. Can you do that by yourself? We miss the plot some majority of the times, isn't it? So till we don't raise the bar within ourselves where we can be independent, attend satsangs. And this is Ashtavakra Gita is a continuous nididhyasana, contemplation. And while listening to Ashtavakra Gita, the dialogue between Janak Maharaj and Ashtavakra, you are in meditation. You are in meditation. You don't have to close your eyes to be in meditation. You are in meditation. And therefore, this psychological reformation, when I say psychological reformation, because we are all psychologically corrupted. Multiple personalities, undermining our own potential. See, nowadays there is a fashion of studying psychology too. And that psychology, every person who has studied psychology is a problem. Every person who is a psychiatrist is a problem to himself. He needs to go to another psychiatrist. I'm not joking. Every psychiatrist, he has to go every month, depends, to another psychiatrist to de-shrink himself. Because he does not know how to remain a witness. And he charges top dollar. We do the same thing, no money. They come to us.
Yes.
They come to us. मैं तो shamelessly ऐसे, मैन कितना बनाया आज? 2000 स्वामी जी. मैंने कहा और तेरे को फ्री में चाहिए? And you want to download on me free? People come and download on you and you charge them $300, $400 an hour or whatever the cost is. And you come and download on me and I don't charge you anything. Understand, you can, if you focus on the Atma, the consciousness that you are, the mind will sort itself out by itself. But the stamina to be with the Atma has to be built up. Or the stamina to be with the Lord in our heart in the correct manner of understanding. Not just because the Lord is there with that form. No, in all its scope, you have to understand. And therefore, come to this realization that I am the Parabrahma Paramatma or Aham Brahmasmi. I am that infinite reality. I am independent. I am strong. I am the not the one who is the doer in this life. I am not performing the karma. Then who is performing the karma? Body cannot perform the karma. Inert object cannot perform the karma. Body is inert. Jiva also cannot perform the karma.
The Atma or the absolute reality.
Atma also cannot perform the karma because from Atma's point of view, it is only one without a second. For karma to happen, there has to be two. Me versus you. Then I can desire, I can serve you, etc., etc.
The ego is doing the karma.
And where is the ego?
Body and mind.
Where is ego?
Within you.
Yeah. Where is the mother?
Superimposed on me. Better.
Why? Perfect answer. इसको बताया था क्या टॉपिक क्या है? Before coming to the class.
Reading a lot.
अच्छा. What did she say? It is superimposed on her. Exactly like that. Ego is a non-existent entity. Don't become too serious about it. If there is woman, there cannot be the mother or the daughter or the wife. If there is wife or any role you are playing, then the woman is forgotten. Exactly the same way, if I am a waker, dreamer or sleeper, if I accept myself as somebody, then who I am actually is forgotten. That I am the Atma is forgotten. I am the consciousness. Which one? The infinite consciousness. That is forgotten. So there is nothing called ego. There is now Ashtavakra. There is no realization also. There is no realization. Everything is as it is. Who will realize who? Can you remove the body from yourself? No. Can the body realize itself? No. Can the breath realize itself? No. Can the mind realize itself? No. Aprapya manasa saha. Can the speech realize, I am the Atma, I am the Atma? Can the speech, through speech, can you come to know you are the self? No. Can the Atma be realized conceptually at the intellectual level? No. Can the soul realize the Atma? No.
Just exists.
Nothing that you can do in your life can make you realize yourself. Why don't you tell in the first place itself? that nothing I can do, then why so many things you said? Because you are
That already.
already that which you are seeking. This non-acceptance that I am already that makes you do something. I'm not happy. Now you'll do everything to make yourself happy. See? So accept. For acceptance, you don't need a language. Do you keep saying, I'm the body, I'm the body, I'm the body, I'm the body, I'm the body? You have accepted it, isn't it? Do you keep saying that, darling, I love you, darling, I love you, darling, I love you? Today's parents are like that. I don't know why they do that, but our parents never said that. They never hugged us. Only special occasions when we went, that overflow of love towards mom used to come. We used to go and hug mom because they were too busy in their taking care of us, and then they will reciprocate. But they never said we love you. We came out okay. Huh? We turned out to be okay. But today's parents, love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Parents also, or the children also say love you, love you, love you. And that has got no meaning because it has become mechanical. And the child or the parents also say thank you, thank you, thank you. And that also has got no meaning because there's no feeling behind that. It's become mechanical. It's only words. Similarly, I am Atma, I am Atma, I am Atma. It's only word. Until unless you don't accept that it is in your presence, that this thought is coming, it is staying, and it is dying away. That disposition has to come about. So in this way, for that, first thing that must happen in our daily life is we must be a non-complainer. Yoga also talks about the same thing. In the first, at your place, I think I said that. That's how I began. Yama Niyama. Yeah? Yama Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. What is the first step? Do not disturb the world by your thought, word and deed. Do not get disturbed by any thought, word and deed. This is the first step. That will lead you to Niyama, a self-disciplined approach towards yourself. That will lead to asana, that will lead to pranayam, that will lead to pratyahar, that will lead to dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So by pratyahar you have become so still within yourself, your mind has become so introverted that you can sit for 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour undisturbed. In that undisturbed body, breath and mind, you introduce Aham Brahmasmi or Om or Japa or contemplation. And when we continue to expose our mind to the satsangs, when we do that exercise, for by all means, somewhere the mantra will stop and this contemplation which you have been exposed to suddenly will grab your imagination. And it will lead to its natural conclusion. This is contemplation. So people want to do meditation and disturbed by the world and disturbing the world. What meditation they will do? So here we are not about the world, we are not about anything. Ashtavakra Gita is about accepting you are the source, you are all that there is. So till that does not happen, don't be a complaint box. Take full responsibility for your life. Be accountable for everything. Don't blame anyone and be ready to negotiate whatever life throws at you without doing all the above, what I told you, blame, etc. For that purpose, the theory of reincarnation, the theory of karma, the theory of destiny is presented in our scriptures, so that we become fully accountable for our own life. Not blame the husband. Because of you, I am having a miserable life. Not because of children. From where did I give birth to these Rakshasas? Mummy, you must be a Rakshasi. Not like that. Don't blame. When you take full responsibility and accountability, you will become quiet. You will be just watching, Acha, this is also my creation. This is also my creation. This is also my creation. Wow, I didn't know I was that smart. I created, this mind created or projected the depression, the happiness, the ugliness, the fantasticness, the awesomeness, the beauty, everything is there in this world, isn't it? All the myriad colors are there. All that is you. It all is expressing because you are there. Nobody can see this world the way you see it.
Think positive.
Right now you are there. Not just positive, you are sitting here. If I ask her what she sees, he cannot say that I see that. His angle of approach to even me, she is looking at me at an angle, he is looking at me straight, he is looking at me this angle. We are all looking at the same person. They are all looking at one woman. Someone calls mother, someone calls daughter, someone calls sister, someone calls wife, and behave differently. But to recognize, take the eagle's viewpoint, that all this is me alone. Because not at the physical level, that is also true, but it's the same life which is expressing in and through everyone. See? So the theory of prarabdha, karma, etc., it's not to impose it on others. Hey, you are my child, you have to do duty towards parents. Matru devo bhava. My mother tells me. पूरी दुनिया की सेवा करता है, मम्मी की सेवा कर. She says, you go serve the world by giving lectures, etc., etc., but I never see you serving me. Huh? Only in jest she understands, but at times. So it is to you cannot, while you are still an individual, while you are still seeking, till you have not absorbed into yourself, and even after absorption, the body has not gone, you are still there, challenges of life will continue to present themselves. Are you a complaint box, or are you the master of situations? The master of situation is who has the eagle's viewpoint. Complaint box is, poor me, why this world is like this. You understand? So raise the bar, raise the potential, raise the ability, and the only way to raise that is by being the Atma. Till you don't recognize and abide in the Atma, keep thinking of the Atma, keep thinking of the self, and the consequence of it is you will not be disturbed by the world. And as you see, we also went through our challenges, we also went through our difficulties, we also had our times where there was nothing, and then today also nothing. Bada tir maar liya. I was saying something, but now physically nothing. But what we have is more precious than anything that one can possess. See? Come to that point where you are like that lotus, you are in the midst of everything and complete within yourself, untouched by anything outside. And that gives you, and once you start on this journey, and once you start experiencing this, your level of confidence just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher. And that self-confidence leads to inner strength. That yes, I can. Yes, I will. And it will happen within this lifetime. I don't have to wait for the next life. And in this way, not only one has the confidence to live that truth within himself, such a person becomes instrumental in sharing that truth with confidence with others also. So if your basics are clear, as you were sharing here, you will share wherever you go, whatever people you come across, ऑटोमेटिकली ये टॉपिक शुरू हो जाता है. थोड़ी देर के बाद बच्चे कैसे, ठीक है, ये ठीक है, चलो आगे, अपने आप चिंतन शुरू हो जाता है. ऑटोमेटिकली कॉन्टम्पलेशन बिगिंस व्हेन फ्रेंड्स मीट. इफ आई गो एनीवेयर for some time, I'll ask da 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 da. After some time, the topic changes. It is never about the world, and therefore one must invoke the entire Shakti. The resources are within us. They are not outside. I never went searching for a teacher. Teacher came into my life. I'm saying I purposely, I never studied scriptures. Why? Because every time I opened Bhagavad Gita, I used to go to sleep. It was a sure shot for going to sleep. I used to open, one few lines. Even in English, if I read the meaning, but when I went to ashram, and first time when Swamiji started, whatever scripture, Gita came afterwards, but we started chanting, it was like fish to water. Absolutely awake. It took me 3-4 months to be awake. Because old habits die hard. So stamina was not there. So listen. And we used to show to Swamiji where your words are putting us into meditation. And he knows exactly what is going on. And in this manner, the what do you call, the one Ashtavakra and our Janak Maharaj, in this manner, I'm not gone into the nitty-gritties of the topic. In this manner, they had a debate, question answers were going on. So, but it is called Ashtavakra Gita. It should have been called Ashtavakra and Janak Gita. Because somewhere along the way, Janak Maharaj also realized. And whenever he used to say something, Janak Maharaj, I already know that. He says, fix your mind. He says, I already know that. He says, fix it on the Atma. I already know that. But what was he saying? Again and again, I. This I needs to be dissolved. So initially it is conviction, but to become, in order to lead it to direct experience, this I needs to be dissolved. And that process is the whole Ashtavakra Gita as we go along. I think this is enough for today, and you can trigger me again next time. Then we can take chapter by chapter as an essence. We can do that.
This was really good.
So, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om. May the grace of the Gurus and the Lord be upon us so that we realize this goal in our life. Hari Om. Today is Ekadashi. Happy Ekadashi. She made me fast. She didn't feed me. That's why I'm speaking